You were saying, that Andy Malcolm, was he the fellow with the...
He's the fellow with the white blue tube and the white flares.
White flares, and you trained with him?
Yeah.
Is that right, in Toronto?
Yeah. He came to Dublin, and Ardmore used to bring him over because there wasn't an Irish Foley artist. So they brought him over, and he would perform Foley down there in Bray and Ardmore. And I saw him working there one night, and that's how I got to meet him.
Yeah. And basically, how long, without, I mean, that was an amazing film. I have to say,
it's deadly.
Oh, it's absolutely, I think everybody would agree, it's an amazing film. How long do you do any individual scene for? Like, they obviously, that was very practiced.
Yeah.
And the scene ran for, they kept running on the scene for quite a long time.
Yeah.
When you're doing that, like, can you describe how you prepare, the set for a scene and then the process, how do you go through it?
Well, it's quite different when we're working in the studio. Like, we don't really operate like that, where we do big, huge chunks, whole sequences, live like that. Because we like to have each thing recorded separately, so in the mix we can have a really finite access to each sound element, so we can, control the levels of everything independently.
Yeah.
So we'll perform them, we'll have everything laid out in the room, but we tend to record most things singly, pretty much. So that's quite different.
So a single sound and then another single sound?
Yeah. Like what we would do is we would get the film in, and from the top to the tail we would record all the footsteps, male, female, horse, dog, and whatever, to the end. And then we go back to the top again, and we do all of the other incidental sounds, like the sword out of scabbard, or the kisses, or the grabs, or the fine tea china, or whatever it is. And we'll go from the top to the tail, and we'll recreate all of those sounds. And then we go back again to the top.
Wow.
And we do all the fabric moves, if they're wearing a chiffon or long silk dresses or suits of armour or whatever, leather clad, bondage or whatever, we do it,
And why is it done in that kind of order? Is it because footsteps are bigger sounds? Is it to do with bigger sounds and more, why do you do footsteps first, or those kind of general sounds first?
With footsteps, a lot of footsteps, you have to you have to get into the characters and know what's going on in their hearts. And if somebody's laboured and broken-hearted and walking across, and they're in their marble shoes walking on a marble floor, but their heart's low, then that would be a certain walk, Whereas if, the lady said yes, he'd be dapper and, sprightly going across, So we do the feet first, because a lot of the time when you see something straight up, there's a naturalness that you get in the first take. And if you try and manipulate it or think or get too heady about it, you start moving away from that naturalness, and that's where it works, is when it's natural and it sounds real, and you don't for a minute think that it wasn't recorded on the day of the shoot. So that's, if you move away from that, you're killing.
So it seems like footsteps actually show a lot about character. Whereas the rustling of chiffon mightn't show as much.
Well, it actually translates all the way across, but for us to have the blank canvas and have the feet down is, for us, some people might work differently, but myself and Jean would always, like Jean McGrath here records the Foley, and a lot of people think that it's just the performance, but it's a huge part of it. It's an absolute collaboration, partnership. Is how it's recorded, and the
distance and perspective and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
And you could see that there as well. Amazing.
Yeah.
And tell me something about do you work from the script first of all, or do you always work from a visual image?
Visual image.
Always.
Pretty
so when you
much,
talk about the broken heart, you're looking at the actor and the sense of it.
Yeah. I did watch it myself. I get the DVD and I'll watch it at home, but I'll switch off to anything technical. I'll just get a sense of the story and that kind of thing. And then, years ago we used to read the script. There was time for reading scripts and stuff like that, but it seems now like things are happening quickly, and so you get the DVD, you're in and you're on, and you're hitting record, and you're just going, you get into it quick.
It's just as well you're experienced, because that would be hard for somebody starting out. You were saying that Titanic, you've much shorter time, like in the past you would have had maybe 10 days per hour or something.
10 days for a feature. On a low budget feature we'd have had 10 days. with 2 Foley artists. Now it's 5 days with 1 Foley artist. So the industry is changing, and still some of the bigger budget stuff you will still have the big time slots, like you'd have 3 or 4 weeks on something if it was one of the big budget. But you don't. What's nice about time restraints sometimes is just you hone in. You know, there's very little dialogue between us. You know, it's not, oh, what do you think? And will we use that now? Will we use this? Or what do you think? But like, there's very little of that. It's just if it works next, move on. And in that process, you can kind of hone in on stuff, and it's good. It's a good discipline, not to get too much dialogue, too much talk.
And do you see it as performance, or do you see it as instinct, or is it cognitive? Like, what part of you are you working on when you create the sounds? Are you working with your head, or are you working sort of with an instinct, or?
I think it's all of you. Like, it's your head and your heart and your physical body as well. You have to be in fairly good physical shape, just like for things like that, running, you know, like, and then you're using your hand-eye coordination, so you're using your brain for that, I suppose, just to do things in sync. And then, but you're definitely using your heart, because you know, you might like a fellow would hold a girl's hand, but there'd be a lot in that, you know. You want to know what's going on in their heart, because you'd be doing, you're like, no, it's not right, it's not sitting in. And then you just sort of think about the line of dialogue he's just delivered or she's delivered, whatever, and then you'd go for it again, and so there's, you know, I don't know how to word that, but that's just
Working on a lot of different levels.
yeah, I suppose it is, talking about it.
You have some objects. We're going to just look at a couple of things, sounds that you make. Do you want to get them?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So, I have a couple of things here. Is this a wireless mic? Is that right? So, this is our little pony, my little pony. In here.
Left button, hold it down, green light.
So, the coconuts, very famous by Monty Python or something. But what we've noticed is, there was a lot of galloping horses in Game of Thrones and the likes, and the coconuts just don't cut it for like really meaty, you know, thundering hooves, menacing kind of hooves. So we bury a microphone like from a kick drum, you know, those egg-shaped mics. We put a sock over it and bury it in the dirt. And then we also have a mic on the top, so we have two ways of recording. And then Jean does a magical blend, and we get this like really thundering sound. And then because these are the real deal and they're shod, so you can, like if it was on cobbles, you can hear the shoe, and it's just that real element that we let you strive for. So
they're real horses' hooves.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're real. And his was actually a studio.
Has he passed on?
Very much so. Very much. So, I don't know how it will. Try not to
The sand in this. Is that sand or ash?
That's
mud?
just dirt. We've got in the studio we've got 1.5 tons of dirt in a pit, and it's drained at the bottom so we can make it wet and it's muddy and that kind of thing. So we try and get things as big as we can, you know, as much as we can. Like this amount of dirt would never cut it, so we have, you know.
Big.
Yeah.
And is it deep? Is it quite deep?
Yeah, it's
Like,
very.
this isn't deep. I'm just curious
No,
here. Yeah.
No. Our dirt pit is deep enough. You could bury someone in, you know, like it's. it comes like off. But yeah, we'd add in a layer of that, and then we'd also add in a layer of a creaking saddle. So we'd layer it up, and then we'd have this, and I have a saddle as well, and we put in the rhythm with the same cadence, and the bride would be in the same cadence, and then with the right amplifications, you just buy it. You know, it's just the energies behind it. You buy it, and it's.
It sounds a bit. Do you want to hold up that sound? I don't know if you heard it. It's just.
And that's just to be one of the carpenter's beds. So I brought these I know these are on Nico. Wait till sorry, but and then we did Lassie as well. And so for Lassie, we put paper clips onto the ends of soft gloves. And then the whole film was. So it's really simple, but like these aren't original ideas. These are just from the pool of Foley tricks that I've been lucky enough to be exposed to, and that this one as well. Like you've heard this in. So every cartridge in every film you've ever heard. Just a couple more little things. We had a period there where we had 4 films back to back in snow, and the first one started in May, and so we had to really come up with some decent snow. So it took a while to get. We had one of the films. There was 2 Finnish guys who were the directors, and they really knew snow, and they were like, you know, like when it's really cold, it's crispy on the top but powdery underneath, and then there's other times where it squeaks, but if it's really cold, it doesn't squeak. And they just had such a knowledge of snow, so they were very particular. So we came up with different ways of getting different grades. This is just a regular snowy day. And that's corn flour for thickening soups in a Egyptian cotton pillowcase. And then if it was really crispy on top, we put rock salt on the top to have that crispy break with kitty litter, and then that's the snow, and then this is a nice one as well. This was a present from Andy, and it's really nice. And we use we use this week on work, you know, like we had a little goose running across, flapping away, and it's really nice, just really is a lovely little drop. And then this one, you probably all have. This isn't a great one for underland, is it? Fart putty, that doesn't. Anyway, you all know what that is, so. And that's kind of the tricks. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Has anybody got any questions about those particularly? Like sounds, creating sounds? It's an amazing range of very ordinary objects, and there's the fact that you know how to manipulate them, and then also you listen to the sounds, which I think a lot of us don't listen to sound a lot. You don't actually hear the sounds and then associate them. You know, you get very used to sort of seeing and hearing at the same time. But to hear something separately is quite a different kind of.
I suppose we would, like a lot of the time, we try and use the exact prop. It's like if it was a period drama and it was these leather cases and stuff, like we've got a collection of exact props, antiques and stuff like that. And if they're drinking from very fine china, we'll use very fine china, that kind of thing. But then sometimes you have, chamois and the watermelons and the grapefruits and the, and you're, and you know, so, yeah, they're good, but zombie films and stuff like, or animation, that's the most fun for us. Those kind of films, and we love them.
Because you've got to create both real and imaginary sounds.
Great fun, yeah.
And how, any questions? Any questions? Yeah.
How much of this would be completely live, and how much would it be manipulated by sort of the sound of the voice, fitting it and things like that? Or would you get it right first time or second time, and it can just be there part of the effects track? Would it have to be cut and resunk, or?
I'd love to say we get it like first time every time, but we try to, we're recording digitally, so if it's the right sound, and we can shift it, so we can do some manipulation on stage. We try not to get too much into that because it can kind of pull you out of
Your zone?
the flow.
Yeah.
So we definitely try not to use it. So we hand it over to a trusted editor who will shape it. But the editor has a really important role. They have to kind of be on the same page as you. It can be interpreted quite differently. So we'll hand it over to somebody, and then they'll cut it and get it ready and hand it then to a mixer. And then the mixer will also have all the sound designing stuff, you know, and the sounds of engines and all the sound editor stuff. So the sound editors are different to us.
So you just be really responsible for sort of personal sounds
Yes.
and animal sounds. So like sort of the landscape sounds, things like what we put in afterwards, and we recorded separately by location sound.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like the birds and the trees and the wind and all that would be library sound effects, or I was somebody recording original sound work.
Yeah, another question. You mentioned the time on it, and I mean technology has changed enormously over the last 10 years, things like that. Once upon a time, for a low budget feature, you said 10 days, and now for a big feature, you have 5 days and just one Foley artist, whereas before 10 days and 2. Does this put a lot more pressure on you, or have you just sort of moved the game up a bit?
Well, we had to completely change our approach, and so now you look at a scene and you go, this is important. This is will this assist the story, or is, you know, relevant in some way to the story? And then you don't cover the guy picking his nose in the corner. You know, like you really hone in on what's important.
Would you have done a nose picking scene 10 years ago?
Yeah, we would have.
Yeah,
we
so
would.
your art has been sort of modified, and it's the budgets, things like that, have actually sort of decreased your art form to a certain extent.
Decreased the amount that's performed, I would say, but I wouldn't say decreased the art form.
No, I mean,
But
you're not.
we cover less.
Yes,
Because you have to
you've got
survive.
5 days.
You know, yeah, you
It's 5 days on one person.
Yeah, so you have to be smart about how you spend your time.
How did you get interested in the first one? Like what in school were you interested in images and sound?
No, not particularly into sound. When I was 16, a career guidance person came in and showed us a Nicholas Roeg film, Don't Look Now, and showed us the opening sequence. And I'd never thought that the craft behind filmmaking was something you could have a job in. I just never really pieced that together. And hearing that, I just thought, my lord, that's fantastic. And the editing in that movie is brilliant. And, so after that, I got into did a 1-year post. I wasn't very, wasn't great. Didn't do great in leaving, but got into Pierce College and did 1 year course there, and then I did 2 years in Course Dulig in Coolock after that, and then did sound out there. Yeah.
Worked on location in film in sound.
Did a little bit of location and sound, but
Studio.
when I got working in Ardmore, I didn't know anybody in film, didn't know anybody in sound, but knew that they were doing sound in Ardmore and Bray, so got the dart out and just went up and got chatting to the fella there, Paddy Drummond at the time. He's a great guy, and just said, I really would love to get into this, and so I just started as an assistant.
Did you start in the glamour sound straight away?
Oh, there's no glamour in the sound. So I'm still not there, like there's no word. Like.
It's a lot of bits and meat.
There's no glamour, you're in it's a dark room, all the air vents are cut off because you can't air the sound. So it's a soundproof area, so absolutely no air vents, no daylight, and long hours. So good job, Genius. 10 out of 10. And Owen as well, I'm probably a brilliant crew. You need a sense of humour in a dark room with 3 people.
And did you said that you went to Disney at one stage. How did that come about?
Yeah, that was a Screen Training Ireland, Morgan O'Sullivan thing where Disney were coming over and shooting films in Ireland, and Morgan O'Sullivan and Michael D. Higgins came up with this programme where they couldn't just come and shoot a film in Ireland and then abscond and not train anyone, so they had to bring Irish young people over and train them. I got lucky enough to get on that programme, and I went over and I did 6 weeks apprenticing, or what do you call it, internshiping or something they called it, over there in the Disney studios. That was great crack.
How was it at the end this time?
Oh, we had a ball. We had an absolute ball, and we didn't win. We just got the nomination, so we didn't. We didn't win, but we had the crack, and a gang of us went over, and step out of reality was good fun. Yeah.
Questions? Anybody got any questions?
Actually, what I might do is Caoimhe and Jean are here tomorrow for one of the workshops from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then from 3 to 4 there'll be a sharing of all the workshops that are taking place tomorrow. And so there's still spaces in their workshops, so if you'd like to hear more from Caoimhe and Jean, I'd run and sign up before you leave tonight and come in again and see them tomorrow. You'll have more of a chance to talk directly. Does anyone just want to find a question?
Just something pretty quick. You said originally there was no artists over here when you started, but how many, is there much more now?
There's myself and Owen MacDonald, the great guy who's works out with us in Ardmore, and so there's Army of Two.
And if someone who actually get into it, how would you recommend they go about it?
It's an apprenticeship. You can't really study it in college. So I still go over to Andy and work with him, and you would learn all the time with him. It's like going to polishing school and so I still think I'm apprenticing going over there. So really you just should have to go to the Foley studio and get in there and just train like any other apprenticeship, Yeah.
Is there enough work about it?
There's just about enough work for myself and Owen.
So there's enough work for 2 people in this
Yeah.
trade?
Yeah. But what Foley is becoming, people are getting more into sound. People know that the importance of it, and it's such a subtle tool, but really persuasive and really effective. And the likes of the Coen brothers and filmmakers like that really use sound, and we're much more sophisticated in our sense of sound than we probably imagine. And so I think people are really getting into it. So it's amazing that since the 30s it's performed the same way as it is in 2012, but there's still potential to expand.
Great, it's very interesting. Thanks, Peter.
Sheila, I think this is your 3rd year doing this course, and she's been very, very supportive, as is RT, and giving her time to come and lead these conversations with the professionals as they come in. So thanks very
Well,
much.
George, from my point of view, I have to say I'm really, really impressed by the standard, and each year I see the standard going up. They were terrific films. It was lovely to see them, and well done to everybody. They really were superb. Fantastic. Amazing to think that that's the 14-, 13-year-old category. Very good, anyway. Lovely.